Hello, and welcome to the Pandemic Pantry, where today we're going to be making some noodles and a side salad. Now, the noodle recipe is pretty basic and fairly universal. In just about any cookbook that talks about this, you'll see the same thing. Start out with an amount of flour, an egg, some oil, and some water. So I'm starting out with 2/3 of a cup of flour, just going straight onto my countertop. And then you make a well in the center of your flour, and you crack your egg into it. You can make this a little less messy up front if you combine your egg, water, and oil first rather than doing it in the well, but you know what? This is a little fun. Just play with your food. So you need to do this a bit by eye. Exactly how much you need will depend on your flour. And so put something together and then just adjust. As you mix it together, it'll be a complete mess. Just play with your food, scooch it all back together, combine the egg and the water and the oil with your flour. It'll all come together in the end. Don't fret. It'll stick to your hands, to your fingers, to your countertop, but just keep mixing, and eventually what looks like a complete disaster on your countertop will start turning into a nice ball of dough. As you can see, over time it gets sticky. Add more flour, add a bit more flour, just keep rolling it and kneading it, and eventually it gets to a nice smooth elastic dough. It'll still stick to you a bit, so if that's happening, just keep adding a bit of flour and keep kneading. After 5, 10, 15 minutes of kneading, kind of enjoy yourself, go as long as you want. Put it in a container and let it rest. We need that gluten to relax. Because the next step is to add some flour to your countertop again, and we need to roll it out. And we need to roll it thin. As you cook the noodles, they're going to expand, of course, and so the thinner we can get it here, the thinner they'll be when they're done. So just pull it out of its container. Even if it doesn't want to go, it's going to go because we need our noodles. Some more flour on top, some more flour on the rolling pin, and just start rolling. So roll and turn, roll and turn. And a tip here, don't roll off the edge. Just roll up to the edge. If you roll off the edge, it starts going lopsided and pinching the dough. So once it starts going, just keep flouring it, making sure it doesn't stick. And then once you get it to the size you want, let it rest for about 30 minutes again. Let it dry out, and then we're going to roll it up. So add some more flour so it doesn't stick, and then just the getting that roll going can be a bit tricky, but just work at it, you'll get it, and then you just roll it all together into a nice long tube, and then start cutting it up. And as you cut off each snail and unravel it, throw it in a nice pile of flour so they don't stick together. And in the end, you'll end up with somewhere around 160 to 200 grams of noodles, which means that if you want more than that, just go ahead and double the recipe, triple the recipe, as much as you want to make. So of course now we need to cook the noodles. So into a pot of boiling water we add some salt. A nice salty bath of water will be good because that means we won't need to salt the next part of this when we make the sauce. So the noodles go straight into the water, and they'll cook fast. They only take a minute or two. These are fresh noodles. So while that's going on, in another pan, we'll have melted about 60 grams of butter, and then we just transfer our noodles straight on over. No need to drain them too much. They'll bring all their nice saucy, pasta watery goodness with them. Give them a nice stir in that butter, get them all coated. Don't want anyone sticking together. And then we add the next part of our sauce. This is a cream sauce. So we add about 100 milliliters of cream. I'm just eyeballing it. That seems about right. And then we give it the next treatment, which is Parmesan. 3 tablespoons of Parmesan, once again, eyeballed. Just keep going as long as you like. This is your food. You can make it what you want it to be. So the Parmesan goes straight on top. Give it a final knock, get that last bit off the grater. And maybe a little stir. Keep an eye on your heat. We don't want the sauce to break. I didn't do that too well, and my sauce started to break a little bit. So just turn down the heat. We don't really need to cook it too much at this point. Just combine it and keep it warm. Yep, there, I turned it down. And once we've got that, now this is the flavor. If you don't have nutmeg, I'm sorry, but you add some nice fresh grated nutmeg, and it just brings the whole dish together. I like nutmeg so much, I've got a little nutmeg grater that just hangs above my stove. Alright, and that's the pasta. As you can see, I did this part before I made the pasta. So into a bowl we put some vinegar, and we put about 3 times that amount of oil. Once again, eyeballing it. We don't need to be exact. And then to make this an actual emulsion, we add a little mustard. I have just some yellow French's mustard there, some salt, and then some pepper, all to taste. You can add other flavorings as you like. You could add some garlic, you could add some chives, you could add some parsley, whatever you feel like. But the basis is that vinegar and oil. Then just whisk that all together. It'll get nice and creamy looking. And that is our vinaigrette dressing. Give it a taste, make sure it's okay. Yep, that's good. And then we're back to our pasta. So just pull it out onto a plate. Give it a nice presentation. After all this work, you should feel good about what you put together. So a bit of pasta on the plate, and then on the side of that, we put the side salad. I had some watercress, so I just tossed that together in the vinaigrette and put it on the side. So I hope you've all enjoyed this. I've once again been enjoying your comments, and I really look forward to hearing from you all about how you're getting on with the recipes, how you're getting on with cooking at home, much more than we're probably all used to. And I hope to hear from you all soon. Have a good day, and stay safe.